Hey guys, it's Erin or Gimme Yarn 418, and I am here with part 1 of Thank God It's Finished. I'm going to break it up again this week because I've acquired a lot of new supplies for because my birthday's coming up. I've gotten a few gifts. So this video is going to be my works in progress, my finished objects, and I'll talking a little bit about what I'm going to do next. The last video I made, I said that I needed a whip prevention, and I've been working really diligently at trying to finish up at least some of those projects. And what I've realized is that almost all of my whips are enormous projects, like long-term projects, but I am making good progress. That being said, I did cheat. And before I finished anything, I cast on a new project, but I did finish it. And it's one I mentioned in my last video. And it's Bon Bon. And here he is, or she is. I named her Sprinkles. This is Lion Brand Baby Soft. And I think the color was Sprinkles. Oh, I just love them. So cute. Yeah, see, you can see the colors kind of in the feet. It's just like confetti of the pink, the baby's pastel colors. So I finished him, or her, the Saturday before Easter. I think I finished and started the same day. I'm not exactly sure. So super cute knit, great pattern. Love the way they write these patterns. She writes them so that you knit all the limbs and then knit them into the body, which is brilliant. So there's no sewing once you're done other than just embroidering on a little nose. Really cute. Bon over here. My next finished object, I'm realizing I left one back there, but that's okay, was the Bankhead hat, which you saw me rip out the last time, but I did still consider it one of my whips because I had every intention of doing it, and I knit it out of Malabrigo Arroyo, I think, and here it is finished. I finally got a wig for this head, so it's not quite as creepy. This hat is for Kristen. She claimed it. It goes really nice with one of the fleece vests she has. So I like how it came out. So I was surprised I liked it. And I will likely be knitting another one. So there's that. I got a wig for that head, and the hair is a lot longer than it looked in the picture. Next finished object was another one of my whips. It was the West Yorkshire Spinners, or I think they say Yorkshire Spinners. I've been told this is the pheasant colorway. This was sent to me by Bruno, and I cast these socks on because they made me think of not only Bruno, but also Terry Tinsel, who has done a lot of projects in this brand of yarn. We can't get this over here, but I absolutely love it, so I'm going to be stocking D-stashes to try and get some more. And I finished those socks. Here they are. Pretty good matching. I'm pretty OCD about how they match. And I'm pretty pleased. And I love them, and I can't wait to wear them. And now that I've shown you, I can wear them. My next finish was the Fatty Lumpkin, the African Flower Horse. I crocheted it out of Caring United. Not a huge fan of that yarn, so I wouldn't be buying it again. It feels like acrylic from the 70s. That's the only way I can describe it. So here he is. I don't know the best way to show it. He's huge. So my niece, we're having cake today for her, so came out pretty cute. I love making those big, huge stuffies. The pattern calls for fingering weight, and I use worsted weight, which is why they come out as big as they do. I had a little bit of trouble with attaching the front legs, and I had to rip out several times. The sun just went in, so now I'm like completely washed out. So that's done. And next was a new start and finish. Wednesday, the 15th, is the second anniversary of the marathon bombings in Boston, and, excuse me, last year for my birthday, I bought some Cascade 220 to knit the Boston Strong hat, and I wanted to do it before Wednesday, just to remember, and I did that. Came out a little bit on the big side. I would go down a needle size next time, and I still kind of stink at color work. But it says Boston Strong, and in the back it has the skyline, and in the pattern it puts the date here of the bombing, and I opted to use the alternate chart for the word peace because I liked that message. So there's that. I think I'm going to send this back home for somebody. And I did a cross-stitch project. Over the weekend, I had a massive migraine. It started on Thursday, and I still have just the last final dredges of it, and I needed to do something that I didn't really have to pay attention to. Well, I had to pay attention to, but didn't involve too much brain power. So I pulled out this kit for a cross stitch. It says home is where the dog hair sticks to everything but the dog, and I stitched it Saturday and Sunday. By Sunday afternoon I was done. It's a pretty simple one, and it came out really cute. I had this frame already, so watched some framing videos, and I think I did a pretty good job, although I can see a wrinkle now, but I can fix that pretty easily. The pattern, the kit came with a hoop that you're supposed to stick it in, but that's just not my aesthetic, so for this anyway. It was a black hoop, and I just didn't care for it. Lastly, it's 2 videos ago I showed you that I got the Singer knitting machine, so I pulled out that and my Addie, and first I knit a quick Addie hat for the charity bin. It's this striped, I think this is Ella Rae Seasons on the outside, and on the inside I just put a solid navy. I like how this one came out. So there's that, and then I decided to crank out a scarf on the Singer, and it did such a great job, let me tell you. Not a single skipped stitch or drop stitch, a tucked stitch or anything. The only thing I will say is that it's very noisy and there's a lot of grinding. But I did this with all worsted weight scraps, and what I did was made a big huge ball with magic knots throughout it and just knit until the ball was gone. And this is the scarf. Pretty cute. A little over 5.5 feet. Well, it's probably about 5.5 feet. And this will go into the charity bin also. Oh, and that's all my finishes. So it did pretty good. I three things were from the WIP list from last week. Not too bad, are finished. Now all that's left is really the long-term project. So let's get into that. The first thing I worked on was the Come What May by Susan B. Anderson. Excuse me, now I have the hiccups. I am knitting this out of this gradient ball that I got. It's called Butterfly Nebula by Pine Star Studio. It's so luscious. And I made a good amount of progress on this. The marker, you couldn't see it down there. This marker is where I was last time, and that's how much I got done. It's really beautiful, and the yarn is so soft. But this I really need to pay attention to because I'm into some really intense lace sections. Well, intense for me because I don't have all that much experience with lace. So one WIP that was a WIP last week and a half ago. Next is my color affection, and I had mentioned that I was going to add white. Well, I didn't like white, so I added blue. Got a good amount of progress on this. Unfortunately, the needle's kind of short. So where I was last time was here. So I knit all that, and I am actually into the 3-color section, which is a fair amount of progress. So I would say I am closing in on being half done with this, and I do like this. The red has a lot of pink tones in it, which is nice, pink purple tones, and I really like it. So there's that. And probably the thing I've made the most progress on is my last work in progress. Well, not my last work in progress. My last active work in progress. And that's the Shepherdess cardigan by that person, Julia Farwell Clay. And I'm knitting this out of, the body's going to be knit out of Cascade 220. And the sheep, I'm going to use, what am I going to use? Wool of the Andes, because I have it in my stash. So, last time we spoke, I was here. I've knit 2 17 inches and separated for the sleeves. And I have the cuff of one sleeve, and I have half of the second sleeve done. What I'm doing is I'm knitting all the increases on both sleeves, and then I will count how many rows so that my sleeves measure are the same length. So I'm thinking that this might be done by the end of April, even though I won't be able to wear it because it'll be too warm. Not that I am complaining. So really happy with the progress I've made on that. I have 3 other whips that have had no progress, and that's the Sparkly Blanket of Awesome, the Umaro, and the Owl in One, and that's only because I was trying to focus and not get shinied. What is coming up next? First, I wanted to say thank you to Sarah Hepworth. She gifted me the handbrake cowl, so that will be coming up. I just have to choose a yarn for that. Next will be a pair of socks out of this yarn that I showed you in my last video for Kristen. And I will be crocheting another African flower animal for our other niece for her birthday, which is in June. And that one's going to be blue, white, and gray, I think. And I have yet to decide what animal that will be. And then on the Singer machine, I need to try the infamous snake scarf by Margaret, and I also want to make a couple of her head warmers to throw in the charity bin too, because the ear warmers, because that was part of the reason that I got that machine for $20, and so far it's well worth the money I paid for it. So that's all I have for today. Tomorrow I will come back and I will show you all the new to me items. I am in the progress of completely overhauling my studio. Not one single thing, with the exception of the yarn wall, is staying in the same spot. However, the yarns are going to be shifted around, and it is shrinking a little bit, which is good. So I'm going to go upstairs and work on that. We have some house guests coming in a couple months, and I also am working on weeding out the guest room and making it more of a guest room rather than a catch-all. So those are my plans for the rest of the week. And yeah, so I hope you're all doing well. Don't forget, we have a giveaway going on. I'll put a link to that video in the description below, and there's a coupon code in the Poor Girl Project in the Etsy shop for birthday 10 for 10% off your total purchase. I'm going to get going before I just keep blathering on. I hope you're all doing well and having as beautiful weather as we are here, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.